You. People will begin to funnel in here, I'm sure. Sorry for being a few minutes late. I had to use the restroom. What's going on, LCAP, man? I'm doing all right. What up, Crispy Critter? Sorry I'm late, you guys. I had to use the restroom. Joe will be here in a moment. He's waiting for the link for the live stream for me. I need to set him up as an admin so he can start things on his own. What up, Neil McKenzie? Welcome, welcome. How you doing? Just real quick before Joe gets here and we start talking about our usual stuff. Did you guys get to see my video today of like the unboxing? I kind of did it vlog style. How did you guys like that? Did you prefer that versus my like talking head kind of review stuff, or you prefer like just the straightforward talking head stuff? Let me know. If you guys dug kind of more of the vlog style, I may do that a little bit more in the future. What's going on, Joe?
What's up?
Oh, man.
What's going on?
Not much, dude. Not much. Just chilling. I may go and... Oh, no, I still have a bit of a drink left. Man. Tired, bro. I like ate, and then at around like 8:20, I dozed off for exactly half an hour.
That's a good time management.
Yeah, right? Like, seriously. Man. Why do I feel like I'm always still in art center time? You know?
It never ends, man. It never ends.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
Once you get into that routine from art center, you never go back.
Yeah, serious.
Because you always
be a normal person.
Yep, you always think if there is anything that needs to be done.
Right?
Yeah. And then once you have that mentality, you can even take a 10-minute break.
No, because the horrible part is like you can take a break, but you feel horrible guilt.
Yeah, you can take a break, but you still think that there's something it's unfinished.
Oh yeah. No, for me, it's just I feel like horrible, like soul-crushing guilt. Like, okay, I'm gonna go take a nap right now, but here are the 20 things that I could do during that nap that I'm ignoring, and I'm a piece of shit for ignoring them.
Yeah. I still take a nap.
Yeah, I mean, I do too, but like, I'm just saying, I feel disgusting when I do, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, like in that 30-minute nap, I could have edited a video. You know what I mean? Like the video that's got to go live for tomorrow. So it's like, man. What about you guys in the chat? Are you guys like high-strung workers like Joe and I are. We were trained in it. I know some of you guys are ex-military. Did that kind of stick with you after you got out? Where you can't stop doing, you know?
Yep.
And if you do, you like almost have a anxiety or panic attack about not doing things.
I mean, I have.
Oh yeah, I definitely do too.
Yep.
Man. Let's see. All right. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, who cares? All right. Oh, dude. See, everybody's starting to try and get into that space. Yeah, see? Crispy knows. Crispy absolutely gets it.
Yep.
Yeah, so, dude, Neil, you started working in 1980 and haven't stopped, I'm sure. See, Joe, everybody is doing this kind of stuff.
That's exactly what we did back in 2016. And everybody seems like everybody thought it's the dumbest idea ever, but hey.
Yep. And now it's back.
And now everybody's doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, how much are they charging for this thing? $100.
Yeah, for those of you guys don't know, that was what I was working on. Long time ago.
Joe was in a startup where they were developing.
We are the first one actually having this concept to reality.
Yep.
And ever since we've done our product, everybody start copying it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, see in here. Which one? So yeah, $100.
Yep, that's exactly what we do, but ours is much more simpler and more cute.
Yeah, definitely much cuter.
Yep,
they have
much more efficient. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
But then
and even the color of the app is the same. We use the tilt blue. It's the same.
Dude. Then you can download all these other graphics.
You know what? I can actually show you guys what we had before. I mean, there's no. I mean, it's already on the market, so you guys will probably seen it before. But I can show you guys what it is. Let's see if I can find any images. Project. Give me a sec.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm tired.
Let's keep today's live stream short and efficient.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, Joe has been working his butt off lately. And he deserves a break.
I don't. Everything's still not done. I don't deserve a break. Yet. Yet. Why can't I find anything that is presentable? There we go. No, not this. Damn it.
What up, Maddie? How you doing, brother?
No, not not this. I want to find a media kit or brochure or something here.
Yeah.
Not this. Maybe a media kit, TechCrunch media kit. Dude, I still have everything, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have everything.
Jeez.
What the hell?
What's going on, Pretty Fly? How you doing? We got a little bit of a late start today. I apologize. I was using the restroom, which you know,
yep.
I should be allowed to do sometimes.
You are always allowed to go to the bathroom.
I don't know. With some of these animals, I may not be able to.
Or just in their face. I can't find a single presentation that I can show. Yeah. Everything is all like scattered around.
I think you need to jump off a cliff there, Maddie. What up, T-Fetch? How you doing, bud? Maddie doesn't even get a fanny pack. He gets a grocery bag. That's what he gets.
I can show this.
Right, Crispy? I mean, what am I going to learn?
I can show...
What's going on?
Here. So this is what... Can you guys see it? There we go. Yeah, this was our app back in the day. And then this is emoji creators. Yay, hearts! And then that's
what's going on,
transfer it to like a screen, like an LED screen. Yeah. And then that's how you put it on the car. I mean, I did this. Remember? Yeah. This is crazy.
Oh, I remember all of it.
Yep. This was... I'm not gonna lie, these are some cool graphic that I produced.
Yeah, dude, they're awesome. I do not have the patience to do all of that.
Dude, I took photos of every single shot of the product in my hand, and I sketched it out on the photo.
Dang, man.
This is the actual size, and then I can show you guys. I have a video here actually.
So by the way, you guys don't know what we're talking about. Joe used to work at a startup where they were working on creating this product for vehicles. Actually, they were the first.
We are the first. We are the first. Oh, here.
And now, all of a sudden, everybody is coming out with products just like it all these years down the road. Like literally
it's crazy.
Like 6-7 years down the road. And, you know, what can you do?
It's crazy. It's really crazy.
I mean, it's what happens sometimes when a business isn't exactly managed well. You know what I mean? Like,
yep. Okay, that's a better.
Yeah,
that's a better, presentation.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe's boss was, we'll just say an interesting character.
He is an interesting character.
Yeah.
It's called Carwing. Which is, if you see this and compare it to what you guys just saw on online, this is much better.
Yeah.
And then all the sketch, of course. This just show you how to use it and like the what is that called? The user scenario. and then our device actually got a solar panel on it, so it's you don't really have to charge, and it works.
Yeah.
Like we had the actual product. I still have it in the garage.
I didn't know you still had one.
I still have one. I mean, I was, but when Wei came, he cleaned
Uh-huh.
up the storage, and then the car is in the storage right now.
Did he finally take like his car model and all that stuff?
Yeah. It's all gone.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, and we took even on this presentation board. It took a lot of time to fine tune all the graphics and all. That's how. I mean, that's how Arsenal works, and that's how we work.
Yeah.
So it's just. It's actually a pretty cool project back in the day.
Yeah. Dude.
I think I have the a video I can quickly show you guys. But I need to find it. Hold on. I need to find it. There's so many things here.
So while Joe's looking for this stuff, I'm curious, you guys. Like, see, when we talk about design and like how everybody can be a designer, right? On some level, design is really very much about problem solving and finding solutions to things that, essentially aren't doing the job they should be doing in our day-to-day lives, right?
Okay, I found it.
Yeah, what's some stuff in your personal lives that you wish were doing a better job? That like if you could redesign them and improve them, what would you do? Or what would pick something that comes to mind? I'm very curious.
I can show you the video.
Yeah, sure.
How do I share the audio?
Do present, share screen, and then the very first one, Chrome tab, or if it's on the computer, I'm assuming entire screen. And then share audio should be checked in the bottom left.
Okay.
That's right.
So I can just do an entire screen, right? There we
go. Ooh.
Can you guys see it?
No, it was canceled. The share screen.
Share screen. Entire screen.
That's inventing, though, Maddie. All right, here we go.
I can't play. Ah. There we go. Can you guys hear it?
I don't think so.
Can you guys hear it?
I don't think so.
How about now?
No.
Can you hear it?
Nope.
Damn it. Okay, let me stop. Maybe because I'm using the headphone, maybe?
Well, I mean, you're going to hear it coming from your computer, right? But
I can hear it. I can only hear it from my headphone.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do for that exactly.
I can just show you guys the image.
Yeah.
Share entire screen.
I love this idea, though.
There. I got it. There. Now you guys should be able to see it. Okay, we got some technical issue right here. Browser cannot access your try connect.
Chris, that's awesome, man. Yeah, like when you see being a designer is all about finding solutions to problems and doing so in kind of like an organized and kind of deliberate way, right? Um, it does go a bit deeper than that, but at the same time, right? Like it can be exactly like this. I'd be curious to hear more about what you ended up making.
I know what to do. YouTube.
Fair.
I forgot our video is on YouTube.
Well, yeah, I'd love to design a 7-second microwave. It's more than a microwave. It would almost be, what's very close to this concept, Maddie, is they've been working on 3D printing food. And that's getting close to this concept, actually.
Right, I think I got it.
All right.
We believe
You guys hear it?
Yeah.
improved communication between drivers, the road can become a better place. This idea led to our creation of CarWink, your faithful little driving companion. CarWink reinvents the way drivers communicate with each other.
CarWink, pedestrian crossing.
The hands-free voice control function allows for a safe and convenient communication between drivers. Fueled by the power of the sun, CarWink's solar charging means you will never have to worry about running out of juice. Built on the foundation of driver interaction, CarWink is here to relay your message and enhance driver relationships.
CarWink. Thank you.
We aim to minimize road rage and stress for drivers. Let CarWink's smile open up your horizons and show you a brand new adventure.
I remember that girl in that car.
Yep. It's so weird to look at it right now.
Yeah.
It's still a work.
What amazing journeys will you create with your CarWink?
What's funny about that though is like I remember, you guys, say, "Oh, we want to reduce road rage," et cetera, et cetera. And the number one request from people was something like a middle finger,
Yep.
or like
Yep.
a screw you, or
That's
like
actually all the people. Everybody wants the middle finger, the screw you, the ass, and all that stuff. I mean, what we do, we still give them the the potential to create that kind of stuff, but just not from us. You have to create your own.
right. Yeah.
So yeah, that was me doing that project is 5 years ago, by the way. So
Yeah.
like 5 years ago, there's nothing like that, and we are the first. And I mean, everybody has the idea in mind, but nobody actually create the actual product with it. And we are the first one who actually create a product and make it work and sell it back in 5 years ago, back in 2015, 2016.
Yeah. Dude.
That was a fun time. Stress, but fun.
So going back to the question that I asked you guys, dude, Neil, the this is a challenge for sure, dude. I know several people with dyslexia. I know you guys have it challenging, and Maddie is right. Like, what's really interesting, Maddie, is like this is actually something that I specialized in early on in my design career. One of my first projects that I ever worked on was creating wheelchairs for the third world. I worked with a bunch of engineering students from Caltech, and we actually had a small business where I was like the chief designer for it, and or not the chief. I was this like second designer in the team, and yeah, you'd be surprised how like rare it is to have good design for people with limited physical abilities or just limitations of any sort. Um, we call this inclusive design, and there needs to be more inclusive, which is like very different than like woke stuff. It's just realizing that there is a world of people who uh, do have challenges, and that's part of existing as a human being in this world. And what's really funny is that like if you guys have ever handled OXO stuff, right? OXO makes like kitchen gear,
Yeah.
and a lot of their initial designs were designed for people with like limited grip strength, and they, because of that, for whatever reason, it turned out to appeal to everybody. And when you tend to do inclusive design, it tends to work for everybody and increase your market share. Like this peeler is a perfect example of it, right? Like they went through all of these iterations that you see here. These are early prototypes of their stuff, right? There it is, right? And they ended up with the Good Grips swivel peeler, and this thing made the company. you know and even their tongs, like stuff like that. So when you tend to do inclusive design, it tends to appeal to everybody, which is really crazy. LCAP said he would redesign his workbench. I could fix it, but I just deal with it because it's not what I care to work on. Yeah, believe me, I get that. I definitely get that.
I think like me and Sherif used to have this conversation back in last year, actually. Like, remember, like we used to have this conversation where we wanted to create something that suit our need for working from home.
Mm-hmm.
And like just to start up by having our desk, having workstation, and then just go on that, having
Yeah.
everything organized or having everything that is for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that was actually the idea back then.
Yeah.
Way before we start all the YouTube and object passion stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like back then we wanted to create so many things, man. that's just it.
I mean, there's infinite things that I'd like to create, but it's a matter of what you can actually do.
Yeah.
And
It's a matter of what you are allowed. I mean, not what you are allowed to do, but what you are capable of.
yeah, like what's feasible, right?
Yeah.
Oh, here, dude, sweet. Oh, I didn't think I'd be able to find this. Speaking of, this is actually the wheelchair that we developed back in the day. So the idea was that we could repurpose old bicycle frames,
Nice.
and like mountain bike frames, and like relocate them, because like all you had to do was find a standardized frame, or like general frame size, or even just like two of the same size, right? And we developed a jig that could adjust for that. And so you would take the frame and with like an angle grinder, which is
Yeah.
pretty common, you could like cut off the ends and have somebody like re-weld certain things. Or it was only like 2 sets of welds, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. This was a long time ago. As you can see, this is 2012. So my memory doesn't serve me that great, to be honest. But the whole idea was you use the mountain bike tires. We put on this rim here for people to grip and maneuver themselves. The biggest innovation was we used really, really wide front wheels.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. Okay, we don't have a picture of the front wheels. But the reason why the front wheels were really important was because in third world countries, like we used Guatemala as a test case, the drainage grates the slots were wide enough for a traditional wheelchair front wheel to drop in. And people would either get stuck or worse, if they were moving with any sort of speed, it would aggressively stop them and actually launch them out of the wheelchair.
Right. Why?
So
I have a question. Why do you guys pick Guatemala? Is there any special reason?
That was a Caltech thing.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, like they had a relationship with a university in Guatemala.
Okay.
And that facilitated the project. I'm trying to see. Yeah, because we could then take our concepts and work with the university, like a design university or engineering university down there.
Did this product get produced? I mean,
it did. It did. We had an actual like a small like factory that we had set up in Guatemala with the help of this university.
I see.
Which was really cool. I'm trying to see.
See, like for me, like I used to ask myself about what really is design. Is design do you create something new as a design, or can you reinvent something that is already exists? Is that also a design?
Yeah.
Or can you make something better? Is that also a design? Like I used to ask myself a question so many times, like how does design redefine? How do you define design? And if you guys, for any of you, what do you guys think what design is? I mean, I'm still asking that question myself all the time, because when I do design, I tend to look at a lot of reference and a lot of inspiration, but then sometimes there's a lot of things that is out there already that we have been think about, and a lot of times when you think about something new, it's 90% has already been out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is like I guess a video that was done on it. Wow, this is 14 years old. I was like also aside from being a designer, I was like the lead presenter and like fundraising dude. But yeah, this is basically talking about how, yeah, you see, this was our little like factory we had down in Guatemala. Yeah, that kid was so geeked. Oh, dude. Really? That guy still has this website, Charlie Pyatt. He was the main designer. That's really funny. Okay. No, Crispy Critter. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, this is actually where I started my design work. It was my first design job that I actually like received a paycheck for too. You know, so what up, Pedro Armstrong? How you doing? We got just kind of like a chill one tonight. We're both Joe and I are a little tired from working our booties off.
I mean, there's still a lot of stuff that we are designing and we are working on. It's just when you get to the
Yeah.
point where you just like what we had talked about last week is when you get to the point where you got stuck, you just have to kind of just take your brain away and just look at something new. And that's what we're
Yeah.
doing today. Look at something new and come back and work harder and produce more stuff for the
Yeah,
audience and for everybody.
yeah. This was a good project though. I was really glad to be a part of it. Um,
See,
this trained me on how to present to angel investors as well. So I did a lot of public speaking from early on.
my
You know?
like back in school, like my inspiration of public speaking is actually Sherif.
Mm.
he was really good at persuading people and presenting.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so funny. Like I'm so good. I hate to.
the thing
I'm not egocentric about it. I'm really good at presenting and being persuasive
you
to
are
people
really good. Yeah.
in a room, but it's so much harder, like on the YouTubes or on social media.
No, I think
you know what I mean?
I think it's because YouTube you can see everybody. You can see everybody's face.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you don't have
that's
that
true.
you don't have that direct reactions. But if you're presented
Yeah.
to
What up,
public
Joe?
speaking on the stage, then
Yeah,
you can see the reaction, you can see the expression, and that
it is.
expression.
It's true. I feed off of that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
change and I adapt
Yeah.
on that.
And
True.
for me, I can't because I just can't because it's really hard for me to even speak to the public as now. I mean, I got better, but that's only in front of a camera.
Dude, I used to love presenting to people.
You used to have what is that called? Persuasion background, right? Like in the two side and then just fight while
Debate.
Oh,
Yeah,
debate. Yeah, debate. You used to have
Yeah.
the debate background. That's why I think that's also why you have such a strong voice for
yeah.
your work and for what you're presenting.
Well, yeah, because like with the beauty of debate and the beauty of or what makes you on some level like a persuasive presenter of your ideas is to think ahead to everything that somebody would say would be bad about your idea.
Right.
Right? So if you can answer those questions from the get-go when you present it, then they literally like psychologically, okay, this is the fun part of presentation for me. When you literally leave no questions for a person to ask, then psychologically they have to agree with you.
Yeah.
If they don't, they're doing it because of it being like a personal reason, right? And a personal bias. But even then, they still will acknowledge the superiority of your argument, right? And when you kind of get somebody psychologically into that space, right? Like I hate to put it this way because I don't usually think of things like this, but essentially you've won, right? Like, if I can sit here and tell you, no, the grass isn't green, it's blue, and I can tell you every single, like, from science to how things work within your optic nerve to, every possible argument you could have against it, at a certain point, you're going to agree with me that the grass
Yeah.
is blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a psychology thing, but that's so
It
true
is.
about not only the presentation but also the design as well. Like that's exactly
Yeah.
what we use in our design. We have to persuade people that the grass is
Mhm.
blue, even though the grass is not blue. But your
Yeah,
product has
exactly.
to have your product. You need to talk in a way that your product is the right way to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and having all that means you have to do a lot of research. You have to do a lot of, you know,
You need to know what
yeah,
you need to know exactly what you're talking about, but
yeah,
also another huge part of it is being a true believer in what you are presenting. And what I mean by that is like the way people are true believers in God, right? You need to be a true believer in your product, right? So like in the case of Maddie, right? Like Maddie has got this awesome product coming out called the Phoenix, So Maddie has to, sit there and be like, yo, the Phoenix is the absolute best. There's nothing else that compares. It is the absolute best of the best. Nobody is going to be able to ever compare to this thing. And if you go into it with that mentality, that rubs off on it. It's like dating,
yeah,
right? Like if you approach the girl and you're like, hey, yeah, I'm one in a million dudes. Like, I don't know why you date me. She's not going to date you. But if you
yeah.
literally walk up to her and you're just be like, yo, I know I'm desirable. I know people want to be with me. I'm a good catch. And you're lucky to be able to be with me and spend time with me. She on some level is going to
She's gonna believe
realize
you.
yeah, exactly. And you don't need to say it. It's just
No,
it just that kind of confidence comes out into your self-presentation, but you have to believe it,
and you have to be confident on yourself,
Yeah,
and you have to be,
without question.
yeah. Otherwise, you can sell a pen.
Yeah, no.
But of
But I
course,
could
all this needs a lot of practice.
yeah. Well, it's like that was the beauty of debate, right? Because like with debate, what we were when I was doing debate, one of the topics was about nuclear proliferation, right? And so we were making the argument that like in the 90s, like we're on the potential brink of like a World War III, and we had to make the arguments of, like this is going to happen. We need to take action, and X, Y, and Z are the steps to resolve this issue, right? So first of all, you need to have the facts to back you up. That's the research, right? Two, you have to have further supporting evidence that says this is eventually going to happen. That's your market context. Like, so when we did this original like mind mapping, when we were looking at the context of what's going on in the world, right? That's the value of that, right? And then you offer your solutions, and you say, well, because I've done the research, I've looked at the social context, my solutions are the best. Nobody has room to argue you.
Yeah. Once you've
Especially
done
if
your
you
research,
predict their counter arguments.
yeah. And
So yeah, like
back in school, we actually like every single day, like the teacher, the instructor, or the professor told us to make your research a proof of concept, and that is
Yeah.
what it is about. Like every single day, you have to prove to your audience that your research is right and your research is crucial and valuable.
Yeah.
Back up your design, and even to to the mid phase of having your product already designed and having your product already like almost finalized.
Yeah.
The instructor or the professor will still ask you, is your research relevant?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So like,
Well, dude, that's one of the reasons I respected James so
Yeah.
much.
yeah,
Right?
he does it
Because,
all the
like,
time.
Yeah, there were two professors who were really, really good about that, man. James, for always questioning your conclusions, always questioning your research, right? Like when I don't know if you remember, Joe, my drone project,
Yeah, I remember.
right? He was like, okay, what's your doomsday scenario for
I remember
today?
exactly this conversation because
Yeah,
I think I was there
dude, yeah,
in
yeah.
class.
And
Yeah,
what's hilarious is everything that I predicted in my doomsday scenario is coming true right now.
Yeah.
We're seeing it. We're literally seeing exactly what I predicted in Ukraine right now. And I did that project in what, 2012? No, 2014.
14.
Yeah.
I mean, we are in the same class.
Yeah. Like I literally predicted it, what, 6, 7, 8 years now ago, and it's coming true.
Yeah.
Like that's how good you need to be with understanding your subject material professionally.
And always, like, for you guys who wants to get into this design, always ask questions. Like, I've been talking about it so many times. Ask questions. No question is dumb question.
Yeah.
Just ask
I don't
questions.
know. Some of Maddie's questions are kind of dumb.
I mean, except that kind of question. What I meant by question is design related. But for those of you, James, James was one of our instructor back in Art Center, where he specialized in he specialized in branding. And,
branding, but also he did product design for a lot of the tech companies in the 90s and the early 2000s, like Belkin, you know.
And he's really good at
he's good at
overall everything, like really good at overall like bigger pictures and like detail values, propositions, and brand value and brand strategy and stuff.
Yeah, no, he was amazing at everything. The other professor that I really appreciated a lot was actually from the car design department. His name was Dennis. And
Dennis Campbell?
Yep, Dennis Campbell. For you guys to know, Dennis Campbell was the lead designer behind the Lexus SC430 and the Toyota FJ.
I think also Supra, right? Did he design Supra?
No.
Okay,
I would have remembered. No, but he was the lead on the FJ project, which is super dope, right?
Dude, FJ, that truck is still really awesome.
yeah, it's super iconic.
Yeah,
let's be honest, you know. But one of the things that he would do, and it took me half a semester to figure out what he was doing. But basically, he would walk into the studio and he would be like, okay, tell me about your project. And, you know, if he had to say that, he would rip you apart. But if you brought him in and said, hey, Dennis, let me tell you about your project, and you took control of it from the beginning, he would hear you out.
Yeah, that's exactly.
So he was essentially instilling in you to be A, proactive, right? But B, to get used to owning your project and being excited about preparing it not hiding. And between him and James, it really taught me to be like, okay, hey, you come here, I'm going to present this to you. This is my floor. I own it. You're going to sit down and listen to what I have to say,
And
you know?
I think that's how our center is being differentiated, in fact, because
Yeah.
like in school, we've been taught in this type of mentality where we have to own our project, we have to be proactive, we have to be. It's like you come into my home and then I'm introducing you,
Right.
welcome you
Right.
to our house. To
Yeah.
sit. And like, and also that's how our center taught a lot of leadership stuff.
I was just about to say that's actually like excellent life lessons for when you become a professional,
Yeah.
right? Like everybody's going to have a boss. Everybody's going to have to present something to somebody, whether it's a budget, whether it's, a justification for why they took a certain course of action, anything, you name it. There's a million and one different reasons you may have to sit down and explain yourself to somebody else in a professional context. And the more you learn to take ownership of the situation and almost even take control of it, the better you are. Like the outcome will more likely than not end up in your favor.
Yeah.
More often than not, and that's something that if I ever have kids, I'm going to teach them, right?
Me too.
Because
Me too.
like, a lot of people don't know that, right? So if you go, you take responsibility, you take ownership, you say, I did this, but I had my reasons. These are my reasons. I'm not justifying them to you. I'm explaining them to you because they are logical, they are steeped in good decision making and so on and so forth, right? Then you leave no room for doubt in your intention and your reasoning. And when you do that, again, it becomes very difficult for somebody to argue the point with you,
Like learning all that skill actually helped me a lot back in, even now, I mean, back in 2015 when I first showed you guys what Carwind is, that's when I used that skill. Because we have to go to all those exhibitions and all those people don't know design, right, and they don't know what it is. So you have to persuade them and you have to present to the audience what it is. And a lot of time, like in CES, they say so many people are coming in and out. They will ask you questions. They will question you. They will kind of intimidate you. But you still have to stand there and just own the place. And own them. Basically, you have to own them.
Yeah. Literally, you do.
Yeah.
Like for all of you guys who are in here, like I know you come from the knife world. Like I could sit down and even if you don't already believe it, like I could explain to you why every decision I made on my knife designs are literally the best based on empirical like research that I've done and analysis and critique of other designs, and explain to you why I'm a superior designer to nearly everybody else in the industry, with the exception of the people who I hold above myself.
It's basically basically
like,
what you need to do.
And that's what, like, on some level, like I'm looking forward to like Blade Show in Atlanta next year, because I'll have a booth and I'll be able to do that. Like, and I like presenting and I like defending, my approach to things.
If you ever get into an argument with Sherif. Good luck with that, huh? Good luck.
Yeah, I'm a hard one to get into an
Yeah,
argument.
good luck.
with, for sure.
You better not try. But no, that's how we are taught
Yeah, yeah,
during and after Arsenal. Like during Arsenal, during school, we've been taught that way. But after school, after we graduate, after we get into the industry, we kind of have that. We kind of have that mentality in our mind, and then we just
Yeah.
kind of push forwards and keep on practicing.
yeah, absolutely.
Get good at it.
Yeah, you do, and it because it's fun, man. Like, I don't know, I like I'm an introvert for sure. Like I'm definitely a big time introvert, but I do like and really enjoy sharing my design, sharing my ideas with people, and defending it, and you know, explaining to people like why this is a better approach
Like
than what others have done.
like
Yeah.
Sherif is way better than me in that sense because Sherif knows me. I don't like. It's really hard for me to. Back in the day, it's really hard for me to persuade my ideas, like convince people that my idea is the best idea ever. But I've been learning a lot from colleagues and from people around me. So I got better, but it's not great.
It's well, the thing is, right? Like, and it's one of the reasons, like, I'm so appreciative, but also even like in awe of people like Joe, is because, like, man, I know so little of like even my like bloodline languages, right? Like Arabic and Greek. I couldn't imagine learning another language
Oh man.
and then having to intellectually like defend my ideas in a completely different language, you know? But also not only understanding that, but also understanding like culture and, you know, like all the little sort of pitfalls, right? So like when my friends from who are Korean, right, who would ask me to help them with their projects, I'd be like, yes, absolutely, you know, let me help you with your grammar. Because the thing is, right, like, stupid American mentality is if somebody can't say the right words, then they're dumb, right? But it's not the case, like, especially if somebody's coming from a different country, and considering my parents came from a different country, you know, like I'm so appreciative of that struggle, you know, that like, you know, it's not easy. And we're kind of spoiled here in the US because you go almost anywhere else and you can speak English.
Yeah. Like, believe it or not, if you go to Taiwan, you can speak English. You don't have to learn Mandarin.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. You
Yeah.
know, but imagine if you had to just to go somewhere else, you had to learn a completely different language and speak it intelligently, you know, let
But,
alone
you know,
where is the bathroom?
Yeah. or use Google.
You know what I mean? Like,
But like, you know, like
ugh,
one thing that is a big tip for you guys as a designer, like if that's a struggle for you, hey, embrace that struggle, embrace your
Yeah.
identity, and use the identity to make your design works. Right? Like,
yeah,
for me, I have a background. My hometown is Taiwan. I'm Asian, and a lot of times when I do design, I have that mentality in mind. So I can tell you, like, my biggest advantage is that nobody can take away from me, or nobody is better than me, is designing something along those lines, along those tradition, along those historical mood, feeling
Yeah.
design and branding and use that as a tool, as a weapon
Yeah.
in your design. So embrace that.
It's true.
If you feel that it's a struggle, then just turn that struggle into the advantage. Just like what we
No,
talked about last week.
that's a really good point because like my longtime friend Natalia, right? When she came here, she came from Indonesia, you know, and she had a unique mentality, you know, as somebody coming from Indonesia, you know, a unique visual style, etc., right? But the thing is, like in America, because this gets into some deeper, higher level design philosophy, right? But like one of the strengths and weaknesses of America is democracy, right? So the strength of democracy is that we have like the freest country ever, you know, like the greatest chance for anybody and everybody to succeed and achieve things of any country, really, almost in the history of the world, right? However, what it does do is say that we're all equal and we're all the same. But that's the thing, we're not, right? Like, so when you try to come up with ideas and think of things, you say, oh, well, I'm the same like this guy, you know, and, you know, you kind of compare down. You say, oh, well, I'm not any better than this person, so why are my ideas valid? Very rarely do people compare up, right? So yeah, like you as an individual have a unique experience that is different than other people. And so you have a unique perspective, you have a unique take on things. Uh, and again, Maddie is a really great example of that. Like, nobody will ever come up with something like the Phoenix except Maddie.
That's him. That's his potential.
Yeah, it's like, and it comes like directly from who and what he is and how he sees the world.
Yeah.
You know.
Everybody's different, so technically you can design like so many different things.
Yeah. Like literally, like you get every single person in this room to together and design the same exact thing.
It's gonna come out.
Every single person is going to come up, even if the prompt is exactly the same, the results will be different for every single person. And so that's kind of where that comes from, you know. But yeah, that's life lessons
I've listened as a designer.
from the design world.
Yep.
You know.
So design like I want to still going back to that question that I asked before. Like, what really is design? Design, is it reinvent new things or creating new things, or reinvent the original concept, or take
all of
the
those
original
things.
product and then create better?
Yeah.
And there's no right or wrong answer. It's just
Yeah.
it all depends on how you see things, how you see these things differently,
Exactly.
and how you see the world differently. If you can see the world in a different way and create something unique and something useful and something new, then it's design. Or if you see a specific product doesn't work and then you have that concept in mind, create something new of that product, then it's still design. There's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactamundo.
I don't know what you guys think. Like, at least that's what I think about design. I'm curious to see what you guys' answers are.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go, Maddie. Have that confidence, buddy. It's exactly the kind of confidence you need. And you need to believe it. It's so funny, man. Like, I love it that, he's joking, but at the same time, it's like, bro, the compliments are real,
Yeah.
Like, there is absolutely something unique about his approach, and that's an amazing thing, right? Like, it's not easy to do, to have like a unique approach and a unique style to things. So,
And like after that, it's all becoming like practice. How do you execute that idea?
yeah,
And that does not to learn that is not hard as long as you take the right direction, the right tools, and the right way.
yeah.
It's not hard. Believe us, it's not hard at all.
Yeah, man.
You have to pick the right direction, right path.
Yeah, dude. I hate the lasso tool sometimes.
You want to show everybody what you're doing?
Oh no, it's just whatchamacallit, just getting something stupid out of my head. I hate when like something kind of gets like stuck in my head, and
Get it out.
I
Right? You
just,
have to. Otherwise, you keep on thinking.
yeah, and it becomes like an obsession, at like a
that's
certain
another thing.
point.
Every single
Where-
time, and if I have a new logo design or a new idea for some brand, I have to put it on paper. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I will think of it even when I'm sleeping.
Right, and
it
that's the
hurts.
problem.
Because you end up didn't sleep. You end up didn't fall asleep.
Right, and that's exactly what I'm like kind of trying to avoid. And it's like I've got other work to do that's like more important, but this thing is just kind of like sitting in my head, and I'm trying to figure out how to like get as close to it as I can, and it's not quite there, which is like making it worse,
I
It's
have
just
the same feeling just a few hours ago.
Yeah.
Same exact feeling a few hours ago.
so it's just like
No, that's the reality of being a designer.
It's
It's a non-stop process.
sometimes it's pain, sometimes it's beauty and pleasure.
Once you get into that aha moment, it's a pleasure.
Yeah. Oh, did I hit? Yes. Okay. Derp. I know why I'm being dumb. I am so dumb. Sometimes I'm so dumb. There we go. Yeah, you get out of there. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, let's see. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like, it's about, as we said before, even in the beginning, it's about problem solving, right? Like, your idea is only not good if you're not solving a problem. If you're just kind of like, oh, okay, whatever, I'm gonna give some lip service and like this is cool, whatever, right?
or
But like,
or question yourself.
yeah, yeah. But the reality is there is a lot of really good ideas out there, that have just been kind of like waiting to be uncovered, and then you know people get shy, or worse, sometimes circumstances prevent them from being able to like share their gift with the world, uh, and we all suffer in that scenario, realistically speaking. uh, I actually had a friend of mine at school who was quite possibly the most talented designer I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. Um, and he couldn't afford to get into our program, you know? And I guarantee you, without question, the world is a worse place having missed out on his talents and his abilities, you know? Um, it's a real shame, but he really had what the world needed on some level. I hate to seem a little melodramatic about it, but it's true. You know, uh, the guy was really he had a different vision, and unfortunately, circumstances colluded against him and his mom. His mom was a real piece of work, but sometimes that's what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. You know. Alrighty, guys. I think I'm gonna call it. I'm kind of
It's
tired and distracted.
early today.
Yeah, and everybody seems to be kind of in a chill mode today as well. So,
Just one last update. Do you have any update for any backpack stuff that you want to share?
yeah, there was one interesting bag. I mean, I keep on. I'm doing like pretty hardcore market observation and research. Um, there's one bag that I saw that's really kind of getting there, but is still not quite there. Let me pull it up real quick. It's the one I showed you, Joe.
Yeah. Oh, that one, the tattoo.
Yeah. Yep.
That one's great. Actually, what we have been thinking about.
So there's this company called Vertex. This is the bag that's getting really close to like what we were talking about doing in terms of concept.
Yeah.
I do think that the design or the aesthetic leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah.
However, it does have a specific spot for a pew. It does have this fold down flap, which you can see here. You can seat your cell phone into and use it like a navigational aid, like you would if you were deployed, on your chest rig. Again, clearly room for a pew, additional accessories, emergency shears, things like that. Has these nice wings, which are really great for distributing the weight. Supposedly, this back end was designed to quickly deploy a fixed blade, which I think is really interesting. They said it's designed for the Benchmade SOCP dagger, which I think is interesting. But then, it has like dual compartments that are modular, and so it's getting somewhere. What's really is interesting about this forward cell phone holder kind of deal is they designed it where I know they had one picture with it exposed. Essentially, the idea is that you can have your camera on your phone exposed, so it can actually act almost as like a body-mounted camera for you, which I think is really interesting. And I've thought about that on more than one occasion. Oh yeah, here, like here. So I think that that's really interesting. I've thought about that for, let's say, like pew pew mounted cameras, in case you have to get into like a self-defense scenario, you know. Now granted, you may not have the time and place to activate this, you know, in like an emergency scenario. But I do like the concept that, like, okay, if I want, I can have this slung across my chest. I can turn on my camera, and if things start getting heated in a specific scenario, now at least I have a body-mounted camera system that's actively recording.
Emergency situation, if needed.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. I think it's very interesting. It's very
those like that feature. It's actually smart because you don't really need a GoPro anymore, or you don't really need an extra hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's all built in, and it's logical to have that kind of feature in that sling because it's in front of you. And why not just put it there? Have that as a mount.
So yeah, they're the only ones who are really kind of like doing that exposed camera deal, which I think is very interesting. They do have, you know, other packs that have different capabilities. Again, you know, here's something small. You know, you can have the exposed camera. You can use it as an expansion for one of your rigs, or you can use it as something that's like, you know, just carrying your phone, whatever, you know. And it still has that flip down capability for like navigation and stuff like that, which I think is really cool. So yeah, these guys are definitely doing some interesting things. I'm not as into this guy just because it's like a generic waist pack with like room for a pew, but
this one is
I want
compared to
additional
that
storage.
Yep. Compared to that one, this one just hiding on the shadow.
But what I do like is that they have this, what they call tactigami stuff. So essentially, you can use their system here to, you know, keep different objects inside of the bags and keep it in place. You know, as you can see here, like keep your pew, or you can use the one with the multiple bands for like Sharpie or, you know, glow sticks in case of emergency. You can use this one for keeping like a med kit, you know, whatever. So they are thinking like we're talking about, you know, being ready for any sort of eventuality or any sort of situation. So interesting brand. Interesting brand.
And again, this is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
This is also designed because we are taking different ideas, taking different inspiration, and then combine them together. It's not you know, it's not new, but it's reinvent stuff.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I do wish that there was a bit more modularity to some of these, a little bit more sort of flexibility to a certain degree, just because everybody's gear is different, you know, and what frustrates me is, for example, I run this camera that you guys see me out of a lot of times, and it's not like a digital SLR, but it does have more of that footprint of like a body with an extended lens, um, you know, and it does take up space. For me to get a camera which is capable of doing what this camera does, but in a point and shoot format, I'd have to spend another $1,000. So if I want to use that bag and have my sort of ideal loadout where I have a vlog style camera plus my Pew plus this plus that, I have to spend more money, and I don't want to do that as much as possible. So yeah, that honestly, Maddie, I hate to say it, but it's because you are in what's called like the 99th percentile. You exceed the dimensions of the majority of the masses of people, right? Fat people also, like myself, experience a bit about what you're talking about. So like, while I'm much shorter than you, if I was in shape, I would have no problem with anything ergonomic, chairs or otherwise, right? Because like I fall within a standard range of like what a lot of people are size wise. But you being what, 6'3", 6'4", and being like just built like a brick house, you exceed the limits of what are the standard norms, and so most designers don't design to fit you. I hate to say that, but that's really the case. It's like, why would we design, like, you'd never design a car to fit Shaq, because if it fit Shaq, it wouldn't fit the majority of other people.
It's like think about shoes, right? You never design size 16 shoes.
Right.
Size 16 shoes. First, you have to this cost in it, and it's just not logical for all the companies to design that kind of shoes. So companies will tend to design something that is more majority, more common in size, and more common average.
They're just gonna design for, like, if you think about exactly. You wear a size 16 shoe. If you think about it like a bell curve, right? They want to design for just the middle of the bell curve because it's guaranteed sales.
And that's why a lot of in shoe industry, a lot of size 10 shoes and size 9.5, 10 and a half is very popular, and there's so many out there. But size 16 and up, or even 14 and up, is really rare to find.
Dude, even finding 12 and up is difficult to find.
And that's just,
like, realistically speaking.
And that's just how a company works. They have a research team that doing that.
Yep.
Research and marketing are doing that thing to design.
They figure out what that bell curve is.
Yep.
There's a reason why, for example, like, again, to put it in knife context, like 3 1/4 is kind of the go-to. There's a reason why the bug out is the size that it is because, Benchmade wants to fit the majority of hands out there. Those of us who have, double extra large, or even large hands, we're outside of the norm. Actually, the majority of people do tend to wear medium-sized gloves.
Yeah, that's
the
reality. And it's really hard to admit, but for a company that does that, I will admit that's a smarter move, because that makes more money. Because majority of people want that. And they don't want to make the 1% or 2% money. They want to make the 98% money.
Yeah.
That's
So
just how design company works.
so Maddie, what really the answer to inclusive design philosophy solving this problem would actually be it's something that we're starting barely to see today, but it's essentially kind of like a customizable design, but there's limitations to it, right? So, for example, in the case of, let's say, like a shoe company, if a shoe company can produce your shoe almost like exclusively out of 3D printed elements and can do that manufacturing on like a local basis, right? Like, let's say you could go to Foot Locker, you pull a shoe off of the wall. They only have boxes in the back. They don't have completed shoes. But in the back, they can say, oh, he wants this design. Boom, 3D print it, to your foot size, and then just literally put that in the box. Then you could have inclusive design, right? Like when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah. And for us, that's called niche market, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like actually, you can design something for a niche market, but you just have to. It's just very challenged to not make money as much.
Yeah. Essentially, you don't make money going for niche markets.
But if you design a niche market, then that's the target audience.
Here's the thing with also niche markets, right? Like, realistically speaking, is that you if you do anything but large volume, you will not make money, right? So essentially, you have to let's say you're designing stuff for bigger people. Now you need more material. You need to employ the same manufacturing costs, but they're going to take longer because you need more machine time, let's say like in sewing, right? And then you need to find the customers, that'll do it. So there are few of these that exist, right? A good example of that is, let's say, like DXL. DXL, or Destination XL, is a great example of, here's a company that decided to take on the niche of guys who are basically above 3x, in everything, height, width, and service them exclusively. But look at the scale of their business, right? Like, it's a national business, if not global, that services these people in order to get the volume, and even then they have limits, right? Like, they won't offer all shoes, like they have a limit, for example, on the shoe size and width, or sandals, like size and width for, that they will make. And so even, again, you may be able to find clothes that fit, but then you're going to need to almost get like a custom shoemaker. Let's say if you wanted like dress shoes.
Again, those custom shoemakers way expensive.
Oh yeah. If you want like a decent pair of custom made shoes, you're paying $1,500.
So this is the reason why majority of the company doesn't do niche market.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why. It's not like they don't want to, but it's just they can't.
Yeah. So yes and no, Maddie. Like, I actually had a concept for something like this, where it was essentially like small on-demand factories that use the advanced manufacturing capabilities like this, right? Like CNC machines mixed with 3D printers, mixed with like essentially like 3D fabric sewing machines and shit like that. But we're still still a ways from that, unfortunately. If you guys really want to see a good example of a company that's really trying to pioneer technology like that, um, it's this car company called Zinger, and they're based in Southern California. Let me show you guys this guy. I've shown it to you before. So this is Zinger, right? And like the car is one thing, but their entire sort of corporate approach and what they're actually trying to do is they're trying to develop technology where they can do a scalable 3D printed car platform on demand, essentially. So they're able, in theory, to produce this car in very, very short time and adapt it, right? So right now, this whole front and rear subframe assembly is completely 3D printed. The center, the monocoque, is like a standard carbon fiber piece. And then if they wanted to change the center monocoque and, you know, make changes to the front and rear subframes, they could almost do it completely like on demand, you know? So this is a company working on that kind of thing, right? So like, let's say Shaq wanted to buy this car, in theory, they could accommodate him, you know? But this is a very, very, very rare company, you know? But they're trying to get their start. I mean, they've got this guy, the VMAX, the 21C, and this is going to be their next one that utilizes that technology, the Hyper GT. But look into them. They're kind of at like the tip of the spear when it comes to this kind of concept, you know.
So it's so great to see all this technology being used for the masses.
Mm-hmm.
How they adapt and how they can change people's buying behavior. It's so great to see. Just pure joy to look
one
at.
of the other kind of things that's being done in this space, and it has to start big and then it'll come down to like smaller scale, but like they're 3D printing homes right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, okay, they'll have like a standard model, but let's say you being, let's say, I can't remember how tall you are, Maddie, but like you're at least 6'4", right? Let's say your head can't clear the doors. You can work with the 3D modeler, you know, the guy who made the actual model, to raise the height of the ceilings, raise the height of the doors, and then when they 3D print your house, it's customized to your physical specs, right? Again, countertop heights and so on, right? So like, in theory, with technology, like we call this technology rapid manufacturing. With rapid manufacturing, we do have the potential for solving some of these issues and be more inclusive in design. It's just the standard manufacturing model. We've hit the limit, essentially, of what we can do. You know?
And I'm pretty sure there's gonna be something new after 3D printing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, for sure. Like, I'll give you a perfect example, even for me. Like, my wrists have always been super thick, right? Like, I have like a 9-inch wrist, you guys, or like 8 3/4 inch diameter wrist. It's stupid how thick my wrists are. Fat or no fat, I've always had retardedly thick wrists, right? And like here, I'm gonna measure it just now, just to be sure. Yeah, at my tightest. Oh, sorry, dude. I'm actually over 9 inches. I'm 9.25 inches. So my wrist laid out is that big around. Right? So, and I've always had forearms like that of a gorilla, you know? Like, it is what it is. Finding a watch strap that fits my wrist is insanely hard. Insanely hard, you know? So, like, there's stuff that doesn't fit me. I need like 4E wide shoes, you know? There's like nobody who makes 4E wide shoes, you know, except like New Balance. So everybody's got something where they are out of the norm in some way, shape, or form, you know. If it's not, you know, your wrist or your feet, maybe your junk is super massive and trying to find a condom is really difficult, you know, or it's really tiny and finding one that fits is really difficult, you know, like everybody's got something, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's difficult to accommodate all of it, truthfully, you know?
Yep.
But we're trying, like the product manufacturers and the designers, we dream of that world. We really do. It's just an issue of technology and cost getting to that place, you know? So, yeah, like Patina's talking about amazing stuff with autoclaves, you know, but autoclaves usually induce a significant cost, you know? So it's that's the challenge. That really is. Like, if you want things to be affordable, then you can either have it, you know, cheaply made or not. And cheap means it's got to be exclusionary, unfortunately. So, you know, it's the beast right now, unfortunately, guys. But we're working on it. We're getting there, slowly but surely. Like, I know you guys are all, like, a lot of you have been digging Ultemp, but Ultemp is a dope material, for example, that was developed to be used in 3D printing well, not just, but it has been adopted to be used in 3D printing applications and, you know, reduce costs. So they're actually printing parts out of Ultemp that are used in jet engines now. And so we're seeing advances in materials and technology all the time. So keep hope alive, guys. Keep hope alive. Things are coming. Coming, maybe in our lifetime.
Slowly.
Yeah. All right, on that note, we went almost an extra hour, Joe, after we were saying.
Yep. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. But yeah, dude, Patina, you gotta show Maddie some of the motorsports world and what they do with autoclaves. I think it would blow his mind. But on that note, boys,
we are gonna.
If some of you identify as girls, we're gonna wind this guy down. We're gonna get some rest. I am.
Yeah, me too.
Exhausted.
And I still have some work to do. It's not done after this. Yeah.
Me
design
too.
stuff. Of course, it's about design stuff. not done. My design stuff is not done.
Yeah. Peace, guys.
Peace,
Have a
guys.
good night.
See you guys next week.
If you guys have family, go squeeze your children, give them a hug, kiss your wives on the head. Have a good night.